So you got a nice, shiny, new 3D printer. Maybe it was a birthday present or Christmas gift you're just studying up now. Or you just decided to go out and buy your own. Now what? Well, stick around and I'll share with you 3 things I wish I knew when I first started 3D printing, especially with the Ender 3. So I got my printer a couple months ago, and I'd like to think that I've graduated from noob to beginner in that time frame. When I got the Ender, I was excited and I couldn't wait to set it up. I couldn't wait to open it, so I jumped into it. I tore open the box and I started assembly. That was a big mistake. The Ender comes with what I would only call a comedically bad assembly sheet. It's one sheet, and it is IKEA level of instruction. There's barely any words, there's a lot of arrows pointing at parts, and some hope and prayer that you didn't put this part on backwards or that part in the wrong spot. I would recommend watch a lot of YouTube videos. Join and read posts on forums or groups. Learn some of the tricks prior to starting assembly, especially of this printer. Do yourself a favor, take the time to look up what other people have recommended you do before you have piles of parts all over the place, and then you decide to watch a video. Seriously, plan to take more time than you thought putting this together. It'll actually save you time in the long run because you don't have to take time to figure out what's going on, disassemble half the unit, just to make sure that the supports are perpendicular to each other. Those free STL files. Emphasis on free. So you can print anything with your printer, right? Wrong. The printer won't print anything unless you give it something to print, some sort of G-code, some sort of STL code. Take a look at places like Thingiverse, Cults, My Mini Factory, Things. You get the idea. There are thousands of free STL files that you can find to use with your printer. You can customize, glamorize, or completely change the look of your printer for free. Some people make their Ender 3 look like that old Honda your high school friend used to own. You know the one. They put more money into accessorizing it than what the machine is actually worth. You can find files to make storage organizers, tools, figures, and much, much more. But take the time to read any tips, directions, or comments other makers have made regarding their attempts to build that project. Just because it's posted online doesn't automatically make it a complete project, or safe, or true. I've had great results with a lot of designs I found, but I also have a junk bin full of prints that didn't turn out how I wanted them to. Take this little blue bot here. This was roughly 20 hours of print time to build all the parts. When I went to assemble it, I found the pins were too large for the holes, the ball joints didn't seat correctly, it was completely missing a neck joint. I was able to salvage it with some cutting, gluing, and I found that someone else had made the missing part that I needed. Even after that, it still looks like it just came back from a hard night of drinking. On a side note, also be careful with some of the printing groups on Facebook or Reddit. Those will offer free files. Many are good supportive groups that try to help people learn and discuss tips, but there's also a couple that seem to only exist just to get your email address so they can sell you a 3D printing course. You have a printer. Can you print me a fill in the blank? It seems you're either going to get 2 types of responses when you tell people you have a printer. You get the people that think you're just making toys. After you explain to them what else you can make, they will still think your full-size Iron Man suit is just a toy, or they'll go on to stage 2 and start asking you to make them something. You need to know the difference in materials well enough so that you don't end up promising your aging mother you can print something and end up lying. Unless you're into that kind of thing, and hey, you be you. During my prep for this video, I was asked by a family member about making a missing part for their car. It's apparently hard to find, the car is a unique model. Sadly, I had to say, no, I can't. I have multiple reasons why I can't just Google the type of car and get any part out of it. I'm lazy, we live in a desert here, so the temperature inside the car gets hot enough to completely melt or warp PLA, which is mostly what I use. So you gotta know your materials. Oh, and if you have convinced your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, or partner that the printer doesn't just make toys, Just wait for that honeydew list that is about to pop up. I've made so many pink heart containers, diamond painting trays, vases, figurines. So I wanted to make this short video just to tell everyone some of the things I learned that I don't see covered in other videos. 3D printing does have some challenges at times, but I've been having a lot of fun learning and making little weekend projects. Do you have an Ender also? Are there any tips that you think I missed or should be included? Is there a question you want to ask about printing? Leave your tips or questions or comments down below. Not many people are watching these right now, so I will respond with what I can and try and help out. If you made it this far into the video, you either like what I'm doing and should like and subscribe, or you're related and watching this video to help out and be nice, which means you are morally obligated to subscribe if you have not already.
Thank you all for watching. If you would like to learn more about myself, and who wouldn't, click that top linked video. If you would like to learn about some free useful video editing programs, please click the bottom link.